In this video, I'm gonna show you this type of housing, the old buildings. I'm gonna also show you the newly built buildings type of housing. And lastly, I'm gonna explain this type of housing, the panels. For every type of housing, I'm gonna also explain the pros and the cons. Espresso macchiato style. Hi, this is Renato and welcome to my channel. I am an expat consultant from Budapest, or based in Budapest, and I'm sure you have heard of digital nomad or family reunification or EU blue card, guest investor, employment-based, self-employment residence permit. If you are unsure of what or which of these residence permits you are eligible for, then I can help. Contact me and I will help you decide. So here, the first type of housing, the old buildings. These are usually found on the city center, and the pros start with great location. But I'm sure you know that it is close to everything except for big supermarkets or hypermarkets. But apart from hypermarkets, they are great. They have great accessibility and they are in a great location. The second thing is that they have high ceilings. They have a classic style that is very likable visually. And the third pro is that they have good access to public transportation, even to the airport. So the old buildings, they can be found mostly in the city center, in the 1st district, in the 5th, in the 6th, and in the 7th, mostly. Not only, but mostly in these districts. Now, the disadvantages or the cons of these old buildings from the city center is, for example, the higher utility costs. Another thing is that the buildings, they might be, older, and they are less energy efficient. Some of them, they have good technology, but in general, they are old, and the systems that they have installed in the buildings, they are old. So they are out of date. They are less energy efficient. And also in some of these buildings, there is no elevator. So if you live in the 3rd or the 4th floor, it can be a little bit difficult on a daily basis to always go up the stairs, especially if you do, your grocery shopping. So let's also take a look at the newly built buildings or apartments. These are a little bit outside of the city center, and they are modern. They have a good design, although some people like more the classical buildings, but these are modern. They have good insulation because they are modern. The utility cost is cheaper because they have better systems, energy systems, which are more efficient, and they are often fully equipped. Now, the cons or the disadvantages of the newly built apartments or buildings is, for example, you pay a higher price for the rent, and sometimes most of them or some of them, they are located further from the city center. Although you can find these type of buildings close to a metro station, which makes it really good and really accessible, and connected to the city center via the metro or maybe a bus or maybe a tram line. One other thing about this newly built, I mentioned that the utility costs are lower. However, if you go to one of these buildings, if you rent one of these buildings, and the building has, for example, a pool, it has a gym, it has a sauna, and a jacuzzi, and also a playground, then the utility costs, they might be 200, 300, 400, 500 euros, depending on the amenities that that building has. Some of them they have security guards in the entrance, for example, reception service. And lastly, we have the panel buildings. The panel buildings are, they were built in during the socialist era. They were really easy to build and really fast to build. At that time, there was a crisis, a housing crisis, so they needed fast buildings to be built. And these are the panel buildings. An advantage to rent in these buildings is that they are cheaper. Yeah, they are cheaper. They have also good heating system. They have central heating systems. Sometimes you don't even need to turn on the heating, because from all the neighbors around you, your apartment is heated like for free. And they are located in residential areas outside of the city, so they are quiet, and there are many shops nearby, like small shops nearby. Now, the disadvantages of the cons of these panel buildings is that there is no design, so visually they are very boring and even ugly. Yeah, these apartments are smaller. They are very small, and the layouts they are not so good, and they are also outside of the city. Some of them you can find, and they can be well connected to the city center with public transportation, but usually they are outside of the city and they are not charming at all. Now, don't go anywhere, please. I want to tell you that I have another video where you can see the prices, the average prices per district in Budapest. Although this video doesn't apply only to Budapest. So these three types of housing that I just showed you in the video, they apply for most of the cities in Hungary, the Hungarian cities. But this other video that I'm going to put here in the screen, you can see all the prices, the average prices per district. So when you are searching for an apartment, you know that you are paying an acceptable price in comparison to the market. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.